यही है दिल की दुआ हो सबका भला, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। दुख दर्द का है जो सिलसिला, अब और न चलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। ये क्या हुआ कैसे हुआ, ये ख्याल अब ना कीजिए। करने मदद आगे बढ़े, अब ना नसीहत दीजिए। ये सब बदलने के लिए खुद को बदलना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। उम्मीदों का दिया जलाए जिंदगी की राह में, उन्हें आंसुओं से ना बुझाए सलामती की चाह में। उम्मीदों का दिया जलाए जिंदगी की राह में, उन्हें आंसुओं से ना बुझाए सलामती की चाह में। देने खुदा का वास्ता कुछ कर गुजरना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए। दिल को यकीन है एक दिन ये समा बदलेगा जरूर, ये रात गुजरेगी जरूर, सूरज भी निकलेगा जरूर। सब वक्त से ही होना है, धीरज तो धरना चाहिए। ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए, ये दौर बदलना चाहिए।
Shanti Ben.
January always has a
It's working
very
now.
special vibration. It's almost like Baba gives a special injection for all of us. And it's almost like, in a way, that it prepares us, isn't it, for the year? I always recalled the experience of Dadi Prakashmani. I was 1 year for January 18th in Madhuban. And during an evening class, she shared her experience of that night when Baba became Avyakt. And the one thing that was so beautiful was, you know, how in that moment of that final drishti that Baba exchanged with her, it was like Baba used the expression in the Murli, Baba willed his power to her. Baba had held her hand gently and gave drishti and then slipped away. And that's just the feeling that it wasn't only Dadi Prakashmani in a way, but like Baba wills his power to each one of us. We all have a unique part to play in this drama. And a recent book message, Baba said, each one is valuable and each one has a very significant role to play in the whole transformation of the world. Each Brahmin soul is unique, aren't we? All of us, even you can be siblings, but you're completely different, right? So each one is so unique and each one is so invaluable. And this month's effort begins with a point of self-respect that each one of us needs to practice. Right? And today is, I am a master, almighty authority, one with all powers. And so each day's self-respect point is something we need to really not only remember, but, to ask myself, this is Baba's vision of me. Can I accept Baba's vision of me as my vision of myself? It's true, we're not perfect. We're far from it. We're not yet complete. We're getting there. In the little chit-chat that Eric Bai does with Mohini Didi, he said, Mohini Didi, you like 99% complete. How does it feel when Baba says you still have to become complete? And she says, I don't think of myself as 99% complete, but we're getting there, right? So, but really that awareness and that feeling that Baba's vision is our ultimate reality. And our journey is almost like breaking free from the body conscious vision we have of ourselves so that we can step into what Baba's vision is of us. Yeah. Sometimes we think like, I have to become something. And sometimes I think the F is I need to let go of something. Because in our body consciousness, we have developed such ideas about ourselves and ideas about who we are and what we are, and that is what holds us down. But it's almost like to really check in the heart and say, this is God that's telling me who I am. And can I just take that step into God's vision for myself? So today's Murli, Baba speaks of the way he sees us, a very beautiful title, one of my favorites. He calls us Raj Dulare Bache. So Raj means my kingly child, And dulare means like my beloved, favorite, you know, especially loved child. And so that is Baba's vision for us. And he's now giving us a way to check that how close am I getting there. So the first aspect he speaks about is one kingdom. That is Satyug. But one kingdom starts with my own personal kingdom. So Baba is reminding us of our own personal sovereignty. And when Baba is talking about personal sovereignty, it all begins by becoming more aware of the quality of my thinking. And, you know, it's like as I watch myself and I see certain quality of thoughts that I know it's not 100%. It's not what Baba will say, you know. It has traces of waste in it. It's like the moment I recognize it, drop it. And that's the effort. You know, it's not that any of us are completely free of waste, but how observant am I of what I'm doing inside? And when I pick that thought up, drop it. What happens is we sometimes say because of, and you know, the because of becomes like the tail. Baba talks of the, you know, the thought, but the tail behind it, the excuse behind it, how I keeping it alive and giving it energy. So this thing of really clearing the mind of waste. And as we make the effort to clear the mind of waste, naturally our divinity emerges then. You know, when I just free myself of waste, I'm naturally patient. I'm naturally tolerant. I don't have to think I have to now, you know, make effort to be that. But it naturally emerges from the soul because it's already in the soul. We are complete in that sense. Everything is in the soul, but it's almost like our waste, our limited sense of idea of ourselves, our old thinking patterns, they block what is inside to come to the front. And so this whole thing of, you know, check, and then when you see what you need to shift, let go. And that's where churning is so important, because when you recognize that this thought is not right, then I have to replace it. So what is it that Baba told me in the Murli that I can replace this thought with? You know, it's constantly about that. But I was also feeling that a lot of our thoughts as well gets triggered by the emotions we hold inside. And our emotions are, sometimes it's like a attitude we're holding inside. And so sometimes it's also easier to watch and say, what am I feeling? Because sometimes what happens is that my thoughts is as a result of what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling anxious, you know, even subtly, if I'm feeling anxious, it triggers a certain pattern of thought. You know, is it going to work? How is it going to happen? I have to do this, I have to do that, you know. All those anxiety, those extra thoughts that emerge is because of the anxiety I'm feeling. So sometimes it's good to just say, what am I feeling really? And then just relax, breathe, chant Om, remember Baba, become so conscious, but change your feeling. And then the mind settles. Because many times the mind follows the heart. So what I'm feeling, influences the thinking. So that's another aspect to bear in mind, and how we need to keep clearing up and gaining that sovereignty. We have to become kings now. And if we become kings now, then we become kings in the future. Then the next aspect Baba speaks about is also one dharma. And that's the religion of the soul. All virtues and all powers. That's our decoration. That's the basis of our self-respect. And I loved once how Yogesh Bhai put it very nicely. He said, observe yourself and see, is my response virtuous? Because virtues are when I bring the energy of the soul, the pure energy of the soul, into action. So I can be doing things, but am I doing things with virtue? Simple thing, I'm washing the dishes, right? It's a simple action, right? Now, where's the virtue in washing dishes? So am I doing it with attention so it's clean properly? Am I doing it in remembrance of Baba so that my feeling is good as I'm doing it, not that, oh, I have to wash dishes, So it's not the action, but it's the awareness. It's the feeling. It's how, am I banging the dishes or I'm putting it gently? All these little things, But it's like, how much do I bring the virtue into action? Because that's my honor. My virtues are my honor. It's not what I say, it's not what I have, but it's how I am and how I engage and how I respond. That's where my honor lies. Because that comes through my words then, but my behavior, most importantly as well. So many aspects. And then Baba is also talking about, in one of the group meetings, and he's saying how to be combined, but the sign of being combined is contentment. And I love that connection. Contentment is what I know inside. How full I feel, how connected I feel, how secure I feel. That's what creates that sense of contentment. And it's something that's deeply connected with my relationship with Baba and my remembrance of Baba. And, I think our attention and concern is always that, am I remembering Baba constantly? Right? Because we know that as long as the connection is kept, we're safe. We've got power. We can stay light. When the connection breaks, that's when Maya steps in, right? That's when the distractions happen. So Eric Bai was sharing with Didi Mohini that he was asking himself, not am I remembering Baba constantly, but when am I not remembering Baba? So it's like I am remembering Baba, but there are moments when it slips. So what are my moments of slipping? So that when I become more conscious of that, then I know that when I'm doing that, I consciously can create that awareness of Baba when I do that. So, we have to recognize our sanskaras, and we need to see how we mustn't fight it. When you fight something, you give it more power. We must become smart and work around our sanskaras, I always use the analogy for myself, Tom and Jerry, like Tomcat is big and, but not very smart. Jerry the mouse is smart, so you have to outwit your sanskaras, And when you take that sort of attitude, then you don't become heavy about the things you need to work through. Because sometimes I think what happens is it's also Maya's game. Maya makes us feel bad for the sanskaras we do have. And we know that we have to get rid of them. They're not our property, they're Maya's property. But feeling bad about it doesn't give me the power to let go of it. So see it for what it is and know that it's not yours. And then just, very consciously to say, I'm not going to entertain you. Baba once said, when Maya comes, we say, come, have a seat, have some tea, have some biscuits. So don't let Maya be a visitor in your heart. She comes to tell her, there's the door, bye-bye. We'll see you next kalpa, that kind of a feeling. Don't hold on. It's time to become free. So anything that makes you heavy, don't hold on to it. Give it to Baba. So a beautiful Murli of the 18th of November, 1993. And the Murli is entitled, The Beloved Royal Children. Make it a little bit softer. Okay. The beloved royal children of the confluence age. And so the rulers of the future kingdom. So the beloved, the Dulare, royal children of the confluence age. And so the rulers of the future kingdom. Today, the Father, the comforter of hearts, Dilaram Baba, the comforter of hearts of all the children, is seeing all his beloved royal children from everywhere. Each child is worthy of the affection of the comforter of hearts. Each one is worthy of the affection of the comforter of hearts. This divine affection, this supreme affection can only be attained by the fortunate handful of souls of the few out of multi-millions. For many births, you have experienced the affection of souls and great souls. Now, in this one alokik birth, you are experiencing supreme love and affection. You have become the beloved royal children through this divine affection. This is why the Father, the comforter of hearts, has the alokik intoxication that each of his children is a child who is to become a king. They always say Raja Beta, right? In Hindi, my princely child. So Baba also has the intoxication. Each of my children is to become a king. You are kings, are you not? You are not subjects, are you? What do all of you say that your title is at present? Who are you? My child. Yes, who are you? What's your title now? Master, Almighty Authority. Okay, Suryabet. What do we call ourselves? Raj Yogis. Your title is you are Raj Yogis. Are you all Raj Yogis? Or are some also Praja Yogis, subject yogis? No one says I'm a Praja Yogi, do you? Haven't come here to be a subject, have you? No. If all of you are Raj Yogis, where will the subjects come from? Over whom will you rule? There have to be subjects. When will the Praja Yogis come? Beloved, royal, Raj Dulare children means the kings of the present time and also of the future. You have a double kingdom, not just the kingdom of the future. Before becoming the future kings, you have claimed the right to self-sovereignty at the present time. So, do you check the activity of your self-sovereign kingdom? Just as you sing the praise of the future kingdom, that it is one kingdom, one religion, a kingdom of complete peace, happiness, and wealth. In the same way, O self-sovereign kings, do these things constantly exist in the activity of your self-sovereign kingdom? So we have this intoxication, one kingdom, a kingdom of complete peace, wealth, happiness. But is that reflected now in my kingdom, my inner kingdom? One kingdom means that I, the soul, constantly control the kingdom of the physical organs that carry out the functioning of the kingdom. Or in between, instead of being a self-sovereign, someone else doesn't sometimes begin to claim a right, does he? The kingdom belonging to someone else is Maya's kingdom. The sign of the kingdom belonging to someone else is, how do I know that Maya has taken my kingdom? What's the sign that I'm not a self-sovereign? Subserviency, yes, and dependency. So that's why Baba is saying the sign of the kingdom belonging to someone else is to be dependent on that someone. So it's a very interesting thing how we cooperate, but how we mustn't become dependent or allow dependency to be created on me. Because even if I make someone else dependent on me, I'm putting myself into a karmic bondage there. Because then I can't get free, you know? And also I'm preventing that soul from taking from God. when I'm making someone else dependent on me. So it's both thing, not to become dependent, but also not to make anyone dependent. And it requires discernment because we must cooperate with each other. You know, Baba wants us to cooperate, but be careful you don't make anyone dependent on you, because that's creating a bondage. So the sign of the kingdom belonging to someone else is to be dependent on that someone. The sign of self-sovereignty is that you constantly experience yourself to be an elevated one with all rights. A kingdom belonging to someone else makes you dependent. And when you get dependent, what happens? And brings you under the influence of others. So if that one's happy, I'm happy. If that one's sad, I'm sad. If that one doesn't give me what I want, that everything of me begins to be influenced by the other. When a king claims the right to another king's kingdom, he first takes the king prisoner. That is, the king is then dependent on someone else. So check whether you have one kingdom. Am I in the prison of my kingdom? And Maya sitting on the throne? Or am I sitting on the throne of my kingdom? Or do the ones who have a right to the kingdom of Maya bring you, the self-sovereigns, the kings, or your physical organs that carry out the functioning of the kingdom under their influence every now and then? So am I under the influence of Maya or my senses? So do you have one kingdom or two kingdoms? Is it the law and order of you, the self-sovereigns, which is ruling? Or do the orders of Maya also rule every now and then? So along with this, there is also one dharma, one religion. My dharma means dharna. The way of being is the religion of my soul. So dharma means dharna. So what is the one religion or one dharna of self-sovereignty? What's our main dharna? Purity, that's it. Purity. Purity in everything. In your thoughts, words, deeds, relationships, and connections. This is said to be one religion, that is, one dharna. Let there not be any impurity, that is, any other religion in your dreams or even in your thoughts. Because where there is purity, there cannot be any name or trace of impurity. That is, anything wasteful or vicious. Have you become so powerful? Or are you the kings who are weak? Or is it that you are sometimes weak and sometimes powerful? If you cannot rule your kingdom of this one short birth, how would you claim a kingdom, a right to a kingdom for 21 births? You are developing those sanskaras now. The future world will be created with your elevated sanskaras of this time. Our sanskaras of this time is creating the future. So your sanskaras of the present time, of one kingdom and one religion, are the foundation of the future world. So checking time now. Is your happiness, peace, and wealth based on limited attainments, or do you have the spiritual, supersensuous happiness of the supreme godly kingdom? Is your experience of happiness based on the facilities and praise? Or is your kingdom that of supersensuous happiness based on the supreme? So what makes me happy? I have to check that. The same goes for unbroken peace. Does any type of situation of peacelessness destroy your unbroken peace? I think many times it's not the big things, it's the little things, ne? That load shedding, when the load shedding steps in there, do I lose my peace then? Do I lose my happiness then? For those who are self-sovereigns, any storm of peacelessness, whether large or small, is there to make them experienced. And so they become a gift for the flying stage. So it's helping me to strengthen my wings so I can fly. They become a gift of a lift. This is known as constant peace. So check. Is your kingdom one of unbroken peace and self-sovereignty? It is the same for wealth. The wealth of self-sovereignty is knowledge, virtues, and powers. Are you the self-sovereigns who are full of all these types of wealth? The sign of being full is that wherever there is fullness, there is constant contentment. And there is no name or trace of any lack of attainment. You know, it's an aspect to just think, as long as I feel I'm growing, I can be content. You know, it's like as long as I know I'm not stuck, but there's progress. I know I'm not perfect, but I know that there's progress. I can see shifts happening in me. There's movement inside. I can be content. Our discontentment comes because we are feeling stuck. You know, we're not seeing change. We're not seeing a shift. And sometimes the challenge is we're waiting for that change and that shift outside of us. And of course, it's not going to happen outside of us as quickly and as obviously as we want it to happen. And that's why we get discontent. So discontentment is really a sign that I'm too outwardly focused and I'm not looking at what I'm needing to do inside of me. And that's why I'm getting discontent, because I'm feeling stuck in that way. So that's why Baba always says, where there's a feeling of a lack of attainment, then I end up feeling discontent. So the sign of being full is that wherever there is fullness, there is constant contentment. And there is no name or trace of any lack of attainment. To be ignorant of the knowledge of limited desires is known as being wealthy. And to be a king means to be a bestower. If someone has limited desires or any desire for attainment, then instead of being a king, such a soul becomes a beggar. Therefore, check your self-sovereignty very well. I'm not in bondage to desire, am I? Check, is my self-sovereignty that of one kingdom, one religion, and full of peace and happiness? Or is it still becoming that? If you are still becoming kings and do not have the stage of being self-sovereigns, then what are you at that time? Do you become subjects? Or are you neither subjects nor kings, but just in between? Now, do not remain in between. Do not think that you will become that at the end. If you definitely wish to claim the fortune of the kingdom for a long period of time, then the fruit of self-sovereignty over a long time is definitely to receive the kingdom for a long period of time. The basis of claiming a right to a kingdom for the full span of time is to have constant self-sovereignty at the present time. Do you understand? Never be careless. Thinking, what do we do when we get a bit slack? We say, it will happen. It will happen. Children entertain Bab Dada with many sweet things. Instead of being kings, they become very good lawyers. Fight your case with God, hey? They relate such points of law that the father continues to smile. Sometimes we get too clever for our own good, you know. So now, stop arguing points of law. Become the beloved, royal children. Become the Raj Dulare children. The father has love for the children. And this is why, while seeing and listening to all of that, he continues to smile. And interesting what Baba is saying. He is not using Dharamraj at the moment. Okay? It's a threat. He's just cautioning us, Suryabin. Because that time will also come. Love is making everyone move along. You have arrived here because of love, have you not? So in response to your love, Bab Dada is also giving multi-million-fold love in return. Children of this land and abroad have arrived in Madhuban, flying in the vehicle of love. Bab Dada is seeing all of you present here in the Sakar form and seeing the loving form of all the children everywhere. Acha. So those who were physically present in front of Baba, he's seeing them, and he's also seeing those who were subtly present in front of Baba. In those days, we used to sit, for bati when we knew Baba Dada was coming. So Baba saying to all the close children merged in love, to the elevated souls who have self-sovereignty and so a right to the kingdom of the world, to the special, elevated, wealthy souls who have all types of full attainment, to the children who have claimed the right to one kingdom, one religion, and a complete kingdom, and who are like the Father. To the fortunate souls, love, remembrance, and namaste from Bab Dada, the bestower of fortune. And then Baba was meeting the daddies. All tasks are continuing well, are they not? The tasks are being carried out with good zeal and enthusiasm. Karavanhar is enabling it to happen, and those who are instruments are carrying it out. Do you experience this? Every task is easy and successful with the finger of everyone's cooperation. How is all of this happening? Like magic, ne? It seems like magic, does it not? People of the world just see it and are wonderstruck, whereas you instrument souls will constantly continue to move forward because you are carefree kings. People of the world worry at every step, whereas you are carefree because you have God's remembrance in every thought. You are carefree, are you not? It is good. You have an eternal relationship. Acha. Everything is moving along well, and it will continue to move along well. You have faith and you are carefree. You do not have to worry about what will happen or how it will happen. Do the teachers have any worries? Do you worry about how the centers will expand? I think after COVID, it's not even where the centers are expanding, but it's more like, are they going to come back? Is that a worry? The full house, so we no worry, we carefree. But it's been a challenge in certain places. It really has. Yeah. So do you worry about how service will grow? Do you not worry about this? Are you carefree? To think about something is different from worrying about it. So what's the difference? How do you know whether you're thinking about something or whether you're worrying about something? Huh? The emotions that come with it. Okay, so there's a bit of anxiety when you're worrying. Okay, how else do I know whether I'm thinking about something or I'm worrying about something? Exactly. How I know I'm worrying is I'm rethinking it again and again and again and again. We must plan, but plan and then full stop, Don't replan and replan and replan, because that's worrying then. I'm trying to keep working it out in my head. So you may think about increasing service. That is, you may make plans for service. However, there will never be any success by worrying about it. And also, when I make plans, it's very clear what I need to do. But when I worry, it's the question, how and who and when, those questions are what, they waste thoughts then. So the one enabling you to move is making you move. The one enabling everything to happen is making it happen. Therefore, everything will happen easily. Simply be the instruments and use your thoughts, bodies, minds, and wealth in a worthwhile way. Whatever task is being carried out at any time, that is our task. When something is our task, when it is your task personally, then where there is the consciousness of mind, you will use everything for it. So what is the special task of the Brahmin family? Your teachers should respond. Teachers, what is the special task of the Brahmin family at the present time? What is our special task? To reveal the Father. So Baba is saying, for what will you use everything in a worthwhile way? And so someone replied, for Gyan Sarovar. So they were busy building Gyan Sarovar at that time. Will you sacrifice everything in the Sarovar, in the lake? When a special task is being performed in a family, where does everyone's attention go? When there's something happening, am I holding it in my awareness as well, giving it yogdan, giving it whatever cooperation I can? Their attention goes towards that special task. At the present time, this is the greatest task of the Brahmin family, is it not? Each moment has its own importance. The cooperation of everyone in the Brahmin family, here and abroad, is for this special task, is it not? Or is it for your own center? To the extent that the task is big, so you have as big a heart. To the extent that you have a big heart, to that extent there is automatic accomplishment. If you have a small heart, then whatever was going to come will stop. Whatever was going to happen will stop. Whereas with the big heart, even the impossible becomes possible. Is it the Gyan Sarovar of Madhuban, or is it yours? When we're walking through those gates of Gyan Sarovar, how do you feel? What's the thought that comes in your mind? I'm home, isn't it? It's such a deep feeling of it's my home, a feeling of belonging. You don't go to Gyan Sarovar and feel like a visitor, do you? No. So that's why whatever was going to happen. So is it the Gyan Sarovar of Madhuban or is it yours? Whose is it? It is Madhuban's, is it not? It is not Gujarat's. Is it Madhuban's? Is it Maharashtra's? Is it that of the foreign lands? It is everyone's. So the unlimited place for unlimited service will enable all souls to receive their unlimited inheritance. Is this all right? Acha. So, now when the president of India came, she stayed in Gyan Sarovar. Next to Daddy's cottage is that peace cottage. That's where they put the VVVIPs there. So she was there. So Gyan Sarovar does, unlimited service at that level. And then Baba having some personal meetings. The vibrations of self-transformation will bring about world transformation. Do all of you experience yourselves to be souls who have the fortune of happiness? You have attained the fortune of happiness that you never even dreamt of. So everyone's heart sings the song. If anyone has the greatest fortune of happiness, it is I. In this context, you can say I, hey, as loudly as you want to. This is the song in your minds. You have to make effort to sing a song with your mouths, but you can all sing the song in your minds. The greatest treasure of all is the treasure of happiness, because there is happiness when there is attainment. If there is some lack of attainment, then no matter how much someone tells another person to be happy, no matter how much effort they make to be happy artificially, they are unable to be happy. So do you always remain happy or only sometimes? Since you issue the challenge that you are children of God, can there be a lack of attainment where God is? Sometimes all it takes is to just sit down and write. What has my attainment from Baba been? And make a list. So when you're not feeling happy, you just read through that list again and again. And it will remind you of what you have already received from Baba. And we all have received many treasures from Baba. Just like we have to keep it alive in our awareness. You also always have happiness because you are constantly embodiments of all attainments. What was Father Brahma's song? I have attained that which I wanted. So is it the song of Father Brahma alone, or is it also the song of all of you? Does a wave of sorrow come sometimes? Till when will it continue to come? Now, let no wave of sorrow come for even a short time. Since you are instruments for world transformation, can you not bring about this transformation in yourself? Do you want time even now? Just put a full stop. You will not receive such an elevated time, elevated attainment, or elevated relationships throughout the whole cycle. So first of all, let there be self-transformation. These vibrations of self-transformation will bring about world transformation. The speciality of double foreign souls is, what's the speciality? Speciality of double foreign souls? Zeal and enthusiasm, okay. Ever ready, okay. Speciality of double foreigners. Newness. Honesty. Look what Baba's saying today. The speciality of double foreign souls is a fast life. You wouldn't have guessed it, right? You know, in India, when you go to the bank and everything, like relax and aram, it will happen. Yeah, but yeah, double foreigners, quick, quick, quick. Yeah. So are you fast your transformation? If someone abroad moves very slowly, they don't like it. So use the speciality for transformation. It is good. You are moving forward and will continue to move forward. Your vision of recognition is very sharp, in that you have recognized the Father. Now, be intense in your efforts, intense in service, and intense in becoming complete in reaching your destination. They've translated it as intense. The Hindi word is tirva. And yeah, how is it pronounced it? Tirvra. Tivra. Okay, tivra. Okay. Now, tivra can be translated as rapid, quick, not just intense. Intense give it a feeling like a bit of strain, but it must be quick. You want to claim the first number, do you not? Just as Father Brahma was first, so become Father Brahma's companions, and you will become first and come with the first. You have love for Father Brahma, do you not? Acha, mothers, you will perform wonders, will you not? What the world considers to be impossible, you have done and shown to be easy. You are performing such wonders, are you not? People of the world think that mothers are weak and that they cannot do anything, whereas you are making the impossible possible and moving ahead of everyone in world transformation. What are the Pandavas doing? You are making the impossible possible, are you not? You have hoisted the flag of purity, have you not? Do you hold the flag in your hand very well, or is it sometimes lowered? Constantly continue to hoist the flag of the challenge of purity. And then Baba was speaking at Amrit Vela. He's saying, apply a tilak of the awareness of being combined. So do you constantly experience yourselves to be easy yogis? No matter how much the circumstances make you experience difficulty, you are the easy yogis who make anything difficult easy. Are you like that, or do you experience something difficult something to be difficult at a time of difficulty? Is it always easy? The reason why something is difficult is that you let go of the Father's company. When you become alone, you become weak. And those who are weak find easy things difficult. And this is why Bab Dada has told you earlier to stay constantly combined. Make Baba your companion. Sometimes we have a bhakti approach to remembrance. It's like we make Baba feel a bit that I have to be perfect before I can remember God. But we have to make Baba close to us, our friend. If I make a mistake, that's where I need to go. And even when I get something right, I celebrate it with him. It's like how constant am I just touching base with Baba? It's like Sister Nita, she lives by her own, so she ends up talking to herself a lot. But she'll say, Baba, let's cook. Baba, let's do this. Baba, let's do that. So when I'm there, I'll say, yes, my child. I'll reply back like that. Because she's all the time, Baba, let's do this. Baba, let's do that. So it's like that, touch base with Baba. Make him your living companion. So are you like that, or do you experience something to be difficult at a time of difficulty? Is it always easy? The reason why something is difficult is that you let go of the Father's company. When you become alone, you become weak. And those who are weak find easy things difficult. And this is why Bab Dada has told you earlier to stay constantly combined. No one can separate those who are combined. Just as at this time, your souls and your bodies are combined, in the same way, you and the Father have to remain combined. What do the mothers think? Are you combined, or you sometimes separate and sometimes combined? Are you going to receive such company at any other time? In that case, why do you leave his company? What work has he given you? Simply to remember my Baba. What work would be easier than this? Is it difficult? And someone replied, we have had these sanskaras for 63 births. The Baba's just saying, you now have a new birth, do you not? New birth and new sanskaras. So don't think about your 63 births. Are you now in your old birth or a new birth? Or is it half and half? In the new birth, do you have sanskaras of remembrance or forgetfulness? Then why do you leave the new and go back to the old? Do you like something new or something old? Then why do you go back to the old? Every day at Amrit Vela, apply a tilak of the awareness of Brahman life on yourself. Devotees definitely put a tilak on themselves. So you have to put a tilak, you have to put on the tilak of awareness. In any case, mothers who apply a tilak, apply the tilak of company. So always have the awareness, I am combined. Always put on the tilak of company. If someone has a partner, she will put on a tilak. And if she doesn't have a partner, she will not put on a tilak. This is a tilak of company. So do you apply a tilak of awareness every day, or do you forget? Sometimes you forget to put it on, and sometimes it gets erased. You never forget your partner, his company. So always keep your companion with you. This group is a beautiful bouquet. A bouquet of a variety of flowers is beautiful. So all of you, whoever you are, wherever you come from, each one of you is loved more than the next. All of you are content, are you not? You constantly have company and you are always content. That is all. Simply remember this one word. What you're going to remember today? I am combined. And I will always remain combined and return at the same time. However, only if you stay with him will you go back with him. You have to stay with him and return with him. You cannot be separated from someone you love. You are with that one at every second and in every thought. Acha. And then the blessing for today. May you be a powerful server who gives blessings to everyone by imbibing the speciality of keeping a balance. May you be a powerful server who gives blessings to everyone by imbibing the speciality of keeping a balance. The service that you powerful souls have to do now is to give everyone blessings, whether you give them through your eyes or through your forehead. You saw how Sakar Baba, in his Karmatit stage, in his final moments, had the speciality of keeping a balance and also the wonder of blessings. So follow the Father. This is easy and powerful service. Doing this will take less time, less effort, and you will achieve greater results. So continue to give everyone blessings through your soul conscious form. You know, just to also know, seeing someone as a soul is like a blessing for that soul, because your vibration is pure and it's like resonates with something that's pure in them, you know. So even just seeing someone as a soul is like a blessing. Okay. Slogan: to merge the expansion in a second and to give the experience of the essence of knowledge is to be a light and might house. So to merge the expansion in a second and to give the experience of the essence of knowledge is to be a light and might house. Om Shanti. And then today is the third Sunday of the month, when all Raj Yogi and Tapasvi brothers and sisters have special yoga from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. At this time, be stable in your stage of light and might. Be a lighthouse and spread the sakash of peace and power over the whole globe. Yes, So much of that is needed. So we have to play our part of giving Sakash, spreading vibrations. Kalpana, bring my phone. And then I'll just read the Avyakt signal and the point for practice for today. So today's self-respect point, I'm God's Raj Dulare Bacha, royal beloved child. And the practice in yoga is always stay in the intoxication of your godly birth and experience that I am a king child of the comforter of hearts. I am greatly fortunate, one out of multi-millions, emerging the attainments of the confluence age, stay merged in God's love and care. And then the question for reflection, what is supreme divine care? Who can attain it? And the Avyakt signal, now let a group that has a determined thought for concentration become ready, who go to the bottom of the ocean and bring back diamonds and pearls of experience. You have had the experience of moving along with the waves of the ocean, and now you have to go to the bottom. Precious treasures are found at the bottom, and with this, you will automatically move away from everything else. You know, the more that I go in deep, the less I get distracted by the superficial. You know, the less the outside will attract me because I'm connecting and collecting those deeper inner treasures. How often do I go deep? Acha, Om Shanti. So let's take a minute of silence and then we can share some points. Om Shanti. Right. So, what touched you today? What stood out for you? I am Baba's Raj Dulare child. Yes, to really know, keep that intoxication, how it is that God sees me with such affection, you know. Baba said, supreme affection. I'm so precious to God. And keep that awareness and intoxication. Yeah. What else? That's it. We have to pay attention, you know. Effort equates to attention, not to get careless. Carelessness is just getting distracted, outside things. But to maintain that attention to everything that helps me to sustain my remembrance and deepen my remembrance of Baba. That's the key thing. We have to keep seeing, am I like strengthening that, deepening that, increasing that connection, that feeling of closeness to Baba. Yeah. And what comes between God and I must let go of that. And we let silly things come between us and God. So just be, it's like, I think I was sharing last week, but when we make something very important in our heads, then it takes up space. And so when we learn to make something small in our heads, then it doesn't take up space, So something happens like, I don't know, something silly like, happens. I asked for potatoes and bought tomatoes or something like that. Let's say like something like that happens. And if I make it a big thing in my head, then it takes up space. Then all the emotions get triggered and whatever. And so I think, okay, maybe I must eat less potatoes. That's the signal. I make it small and I move on. Then it doesn't become a big thing, So many things will happen in drama and it won't always go according to my liking. But when I make it very important according to my liking, that's when it becomes a big issue. And then it makes me move away from Baba, So make the drama small. The more smaller you make it, the easier it becomes. In the bigger scheme of things, I'm a bindu living, just to be with Baba. That's the main thing. Yeah. Move on. That's it. What else? We have a new birth. And so that means, new birth, new sanskaras. Don't say, Baba, but we have these sanskaras of 63 births of complaining. What can we do? And Baba saying, no, new birth, new sanskaras, new life. Yeah. My vibration of self-transformation brings about world transformation. Yeah. Many times what makes us stumble is that we're waiting for the change to happen outside of us, I'm having good wishes for you. Why aren't you changing? and that's where we, stumble, because I'm having good wishes because I'm having good wishes. Whether the other changes or not, that's their drama, But my attitude, my feeling, my drishti, that's where I need to make the shift, And then I become uninfluenced. Because as Baba said today, if you're not a self-sovereign, you're dependent. So if my happiness is dependent on your change, I'm dependent on you, So to claim my sovereignty is to become free. Okay, what else? Rita, you look like you want to share your point. Come.
We find a constant peace, and I think that's something that I do experience, and it's unbroken peace that nothing is triggering. So, like you said, I'm just making a change.
Yeah.
So, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I can give you my blessings, but whether you continue behaving like that, it's like your drama.
Your drama. Yeah, absolutely. Is my peace constant? And what breaks it? What do I allow my peace to be broken by? And that's something I need to see. And we have to understand our triggers. It's very important because we all have a button that gets pushed, And we have to understand our button and know that this always, trips me up. So how I need to be aware. So What are the points of knowledge am I going to use so that when this happens, then I can, know what to draw from Baba and not stay with that same trigger, because that is important. Yeah. And the root is always the same. It just changes face every time, but the root is always the same. To understand that, yeah. Good. Anyone else wants to share? Sorry? Yeah, no, fast life. So Baba said, let your transformation be fast, Don't be too fast in everything, but let the transformation be fast. Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. So Baba wants us to check who is sitting on my throne. Yeah, is there two people in this kingdom? Am I in the prison and is there someone else sitting on the throne, or am I the ruler? And there's two aspects that Baba raises. One is mastery over my senses. And that's also an important one. How much of my decisions, my choices, my reactions being driven by the pull of my senses. That's one aspect. And then the second aspect as well is also my subtle organs, mind, intellect, sanskaras. So how much am I being driven by my sanskaras and how much is it with awareness? And Baba put it very beautifully today. He says, put on the tilak of awareness and keep Baba as your constant companion. That's the key thing. Okay. So we will offer Bhog. And then after Bhog, I'll do a few announcements regarding the Bhati for today. Okay. And also for the next few days. Let's just see how it is. Okay, great. Should be. Indrani and Divendri, offer Bhog. So just to say hello, some souls have come after so long. So very happy, Vijay. Lovely to see you. And Rose, hello, Shanti. Avanti. Oh, good. I've seen already, but good to have you back. Okay, so you're looking like a few years younger now, Manubin. So, very good. Oh, wonderful.